Car Grumps on 998WBOB.com. Man, we are grooving tonight, Joe. Oh, I love it. I'm telling you, man, I could cruise to this all day.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, tonight we are talking about automotive magazines and the weird things that happened in 2009. A lot of them took a hit, and we lost out on things. But unfortunately, although I am a master of cars, I am unfortunately not a master of magazines. So I wanted to have some guests on tonight that would talk to me about their magazines, how long they've been out, and what experience they have. So we're going to start off tonight with Reggie Willis of East Coast Styles Magazine. Got you, Reggie?
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing excellent, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Now, how are you surviving this amazing New England weather? Do you have any of that where you're at?
Oh, yeah. We got plenty of snow. Plenty of snow.
Do you do any snow drifting at any point, or is it...
No, that's not my thing.
Yeah, I usually stay in during the snow stuff, too. I'm a little bit low for the snow, but maybe I'll end up borrowing a car at some point down the road. So, but yeah, we want to talk to you tonight because, like I said, it's something that we wanted to really ask. And I guess the best question here is what is your magazine? I want to introduce everybody so that they know what you're doing. What's your magazine about? What does it do? What do you guys focus on? Is there any kind of brands or anything like that? Let me know.
Well, we focus on all types of cars, from lowriders to imports to rat rods to custom vans, motorcycle shows, and we cover from Maine all the way down to Florida, all the way over to Texas, all the way up to Iowa, Illinois area. Basically the whole East Coast of the United States, pretty much.
That's awesome. Now, is there any kind of cars that, and that's the other thing, I think that you kind of focus on every kind of vehicle. You don't, like, I guess the word is discriminate against different cars, correct?
Yeah, we don't discriminate on cars. We love all cars, all types of custom rides. If it's nice, we like it.
So, in your history, what do you think is the most type of vehicle that you've covered and I guess gotten the most traction from? In other words, every time we do this lowrider, everybody wants to see it, or these trucks, or what is something that really catches people's attention?
Well, it depends on the area of the United States because there's different popularities all over the East Coast. I mean, like up here is more about import cars and classic hot rods and stuff like that. And down south is more about big wheel cars, lowriders, and mini trucks. So it kind of varies where you're at.
Yeah. And how many years has East Coast Styles been around?
We just hit 20 years.
Good God, 20 years. That's crazy. And
yeah. This month it's 20 years.
Did you have a lot more traction before, or is it kind of the same now about how many people kind of subscribe to your magazine and listen to stuff? Hello? Did I lose him?
No, he's still showing.
No, I bet he cut out.
He might have cut out. So
yeah, it happens.
I'll wait for him to call back in if you're.
Yeah, we'll wait for him.
If you can still hear us, just give us a call back.
Yeah. So that's the thing is one thing that I want to know is. I'm going to tell him to call me back. But yeah, one thing I wanted to focus on too was one thing up here in New England is I am seeing such a huge resurgence of this truck thing. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is he was saying kind of the import scene, and a lot of people would say imports. And then there's kind of this like cruising area where everybody's into whatever the big exotic car is, right? But if you go out there to any of the big brands right now, you see the stuff. We just had, I wish I could remember the name of the magazine. It's out of Connecticut. Mm-hmm. One of the lowrider groups were just featured in it. And I don't remember if you remember Rich Doucette from Boston Cup.
Yes, I do, actually.
Yeah, he was telling me to talk to this guy, and I had talked to him, and they had covered some of our local guys with the hot rods. And they were they had the hot rods, they had I want to say lead sleds, and a lot of them weren't like the pretty painted projects that everybody, thought that they would show. They really showed some of the rust cars and the patinas and stuff like that. And I had a chance to ask him, like, what is the big deal? Like, what's big? And that was the thing is he said, that's huge, is that we have the attention that we got from those cars. Mm. And then I said, well, what is your next thing? What do you think is going to be the next big deal? And he said trucks. And it was funny that I almost knew what he was going to say before he said it.
Yeah, I mean, we got Truckin' Magazine that's been around forever, and that's still out there, and that's still super popular, and that kind of hits all the bases, whether it be some big mud bogger or a bagged out S10 or kind of hits all the bases on the truck side.
Right.
And I gotta say, like I owned a 2000 GMC Sonoma.
Yeah.
And as much as I hated that truck, I miss it every day.
Oh, yeah.
I only hated it because it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was the thing is these guys, and then they told me, they said, when we do the truck thing, when we do this other stuff, we get people to tune in. And it was really something, and I wanted to hit Reggie with it. Maybe we'll hit Lewis afterwards about it. Was when they put this stuff up, we magazines and other things like that, we need to really change with the times and kind of catch up with things. And I think what happens is that, especially like we used to skateboard and stuff, so you had this kind of underground thing, but it was huge. Even when you weren't seeing it, people were invested in it. And that's the thing is with these trucks, with these patina cars, with this stuff, I think that, see, a lot of people say, oh, millennials aren't into cars. And I was like, they did this big study, and these millennials came back and they did, and I hate using the word millennials and doing the age thing. It is what it is. That's how the studies work, so I'm just following it. But they did the research on it, and they found out that these guys, some of them didn't want to drive, that they'd rather drive less. But when they had a car, they wanted an older car. We got him back?
It does appear so.
Okay, do I got you, Reggie?
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay, I missed you. So anyway, did you hear some of what we were talking about, or did you miss it?
I was listening to everything, and I realized.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, so we were bringing up that thing about the trucks and some of the patina hot rods and stuff like that, not so much with the clean lowrider thing. Is that something that you're seeing more of a resurgence of as well, or do you see something that's like kind of off to the side?
It changed. Like I said, it changes from wherever you are in the United States. It's
right.
more popular in certain areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what was I going to say there? Now, do you have subscribers pretty much everywhere across the United States? Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have like a group of guys that find stuff for you, or how does that work? Like, is it hard to get kind of pictures and stuff like that for the articles and stuff, or is it?
We have about 20 photographers on staff.
Wow, and I'm guessing they're working pretty much 24/7.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
So, what do they have? Do they have a lot of features in the winter? Do you find it's harder to get stuff during the winter, or is it something that it's just year round? It's about the same.
No, the winter's pretty dead up here in the Northeast, but the car shows still go on down south where it's warmer around Florida, Texas, stuff like that.
All right. Now, if you said right now, you said, you know what, one thing that if magazines in general, it's the thing is I want to see something that's going to help the magazine world basically come back to life. And that's the thing is I think it's not just one group. I think if we get you guys out there, if we get some of these other guys, we get everybody back into this magazine thing. I see our world as being visual, but I'm seeing also that a lot of it is lost when it comes to things like Instagram and Facebook. Some of that information isn't really getting over to the people. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. A lot of the major magazines kind of went online. We went from online to print. We kind of went backwards, but.
And did you find that was a more effective move, or did you see it was did it work against you?
Well, I seem to believe that people always like to have something in hand for keepsake, more or less than just a picture off a computer or a cell phone, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we were saying it before. It gives us more life. Like, we'll have your magazine, we'll have it shipped in, and then I'll rip a picture off, and then I'll put it on the wall and say, hey, this is all the info, and here's a big write-up. And I think it gives more credibility to the people who are in the magazine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect.
People cherish more being on a feature or being on a cover or even being in a print magazine. They can put it in a plaque and hang it on the wall, or they can show their friends. They can put it in their car at the car shows and show it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think having the actual magazine in your hand and having that joy. Like if I was in the magazine, I would have I would be more pumped than just being like featured on somebody's Instagram.
It gives you credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody can be on Instagram. Anybody can be on Facebook. Anybody can have these little small features, or somebody can make a YouTube video. People don't realize how easy it is to make a YouTube video about your car. But to have a magazine say, "Oh, stop the presses. Let's grab this dude's car. We're going to put it on the thing. We're going to have a huge 4-page write-up on it." That's something that I think the world misses, and if they don't realize they miss it, they should. Right, Reggie?
I agree 100%.
Perfect. All right, guys, we got to move into a break here. Reggie, I want to thank you for coming in. If anybody wants to follow you or go to your magazine or go to your pages or whatever, where should they go?
They should go to ECSmagazine.com, or find us on Facebook and Instagram at ECS Magazine, or Instagram ECS_magazine.
Perfect. All right, we'll see. You know what? We did have a little break in the code there, so we will have you on again at some point and get you so you can have the full time, so we can actually discuss stuff. So, but otherwise, we're going to be moving into a break right now. This is your host, VIP Primo, on the Car Grumps, 990WBOB.com.